Hello, everyone, and welcome. When we think of industrial revolutions, we tend to picture massive assembly lines and giant factories. But the most dramatic revolutions often happen when technology is democratized, when it is ripped from the sole domain of corporations and institutions and handed directly to regular folks. In this context, domestic desktop 3D printing, or D3DP, has undergone an incredible evolution. It has transformed from a technology used strictly for prototyping into a practical means of producing fully functional products at the individual level. This transition is driven by a value triangle of quality, accessibility, and affordability. This triangle fundamentally reshapes the traditional value chain. It eliminates supply chain delays, reduces last-mile distribution costs, and creates direct contact in cyberspace between the designer and the end user, who then physically manufactures the product at home. In this video, we will analyze the domestic 3D printed products market, map the digital platforms that support it, and introduce 6 key product archetypes. This framework will help designers, engineering and design students, and researchers design more effectively for the future of manufacturing. To truly understand the D3DP market, we must first understand its structure. The market is built around 5 main human factors: 3D printer and raw material manufacturers, designers, end users, physical couriers, and online file-sharing platforms. These file-sharing websites act as the ultimate hub where cyberspace and physical space meet. A systematic review of 40 leading file-sharing platforms reveals that they can be classified into 5 distinct categories. First, general orientation platforms such as Thingiverse, Printables, and MakerWorld. These offer a wide array of product categories, such as household items, toys, art, and fashion, and sometimes feature built-in customization tools for the end user. Second, hobbyist and enthusiast-oriented platforms. These target users have a high level of technical knowledge and dedication, and they seek highly specific products such as radio-controlled airplanes, cars, and boats, as well as detailed gaming props. Third, professional-oriented platforms such as GrabCAD, which cater to industrial designers, engineers, and medical personnel. These often provide editable CAD formats alongside 3D printing files. Fourth, traditional e-commerce marketplaces like AliExpress, eBay, and Etsy have integrated downloadable 3D printing files directly into their commercial catalogs. And fifth, artificial intelligence-based services such as Meshi or Tripo, which generate 3D models from 2D images or textual prompts. While innovative, they are currently limited to single-part objects rather than functional assemblies. How do we systematically classify the actual products made in this market? We can define them using a taxonomy matrix based on 2 critical design dimensions. The first is the design status, which can be fixed, customizable, or generative. The second is the product's dependency on complementary components that cannot be 3D printed. Crossing these axes yields 6 distinct product archetypes. Let's look at the first 3, which belong to the independent products category. These products are entirely 3D printable, fully retaining the value of domestic production and shortening the supply chain to its absolute minimum. Archetype 1 is the fully 3D printable fixed product. These are immutable, ready-to-print designs. Classic examples include action figures, simple home decor, or single-piece functional tools. Archetype 2 is the fully 3D printable customizable product. These are pre-made designs that allow end users to make functional modifications, such as changing a storage box's volume, or cosmetic changes like adding personalized text before printing. Archetype 3 is the fully 3D printable generative product. Here the user acts as the design source, generating unique single-part geometries from scratch using online CAD environments or AI text to 3D prompts. Now, let's turn to the other side of our matrix, dependent products. These are products that require the integration of non-3D printable complementary parts to reach a usable state. This is where design gets complex. Because these products rely on external hardware, they are tied back to the conventional retail market. As designers, we must carefully evaluate the accessibility, affordability, and assembly skill level required for a user to acquire and integrate these parts. This group gives us our next three archetypes. Archetype 4 is the partially 3D printable fixed product. This is highly prevalent in the hobbyist transportation category, where users print the structural body of a drone, car, or plane, but must purchase motors, speed controllers, and batteries, and assemble them with glue or solder. Archetype 5 is the partially 3D printable customizable product. These are customizable designs that require hardware integration. A prime example is a customizable lampshade or lightbox maker, where the user adjusts the printed frame but must purchase and wire standard electrical socket and bulb components. Archetype 6 is a partially 3D printable generative product. These are custom geometries generated by the user using AI or generative tools, but designed intentionally to interface with standard hardware, such as bearings, springs, or fasteners. For industrial designers and engineers, understanding these archetypes is just the beginning. To design successful products for the D3DP market, we must shift our perspective and treat the domestic end user as an assembly line worker. In traditional manufacturing, design for assembly, or DFA, is used to minimize assembly time to save labor costs. In domestic production, the financial cost of assembly time is negligible, but its cognitive cost is massive. If a design is too frustrating or difficult to build, the user will simply abandon it. This user experience is determined by two strategic design factors. First, the part characteristics and assembly complexity. We must ask, are the parts too small or too large for easy handling? Are there potential orientation errors where parts can be assembled backward? Are the parts robust enough to withstand manual handling without breaking? Second, post-processing difficulty. Nearly every 3D printed part requires some form of post-manufacturing treatment. This ranges from simple tool-free steps like peeling off a brim to basic tool-mediated steps like sanding, up to highly demanding workflows such as chemical vapor smoothing, gap filling, painting, or thermal reshaping. As designers, our goal is to optimize these workflows, minimizing post-processing and designing highly intuitive, error-proof assemblies that would drive higher user engagement. To wrap things up, the domestic desktop 3D printing market is still in its infancy, but its trajectory is clear. Research shows that when people fabricate their own products, they value them far more than identical, pre-assembled, mass-produced goods. However, to unlock the full potential of this market, we must address two critical gaps. First, there is a distinct lack of professional-oriented platforms. While hobbyist sites are booming, we need digital platforms tailored to professional end users like plumbers, chefs, or technicians who need highly functional, on-demand, customized replacement parts and tools. Second, AI generative tools must evolve. Currently, AI is great at generating beautiful organic shapes, but it lacks the engineering intelligence needed to design functional assemblies that respect mechanical tolerances and DFA rules. The next major breakthrough will happen when we can write text prompts that combine design intent with automated manufacturing and assembly optimization. Desktop 3. D-printing challenges traditional design paradigms. It forces us to design not just the final physical object, but also the entire fabrication and assembly experience in the user's home. As we look to the future, bridging the gaps between generative AI, manufacturing constraints, and user-centric design requires deep, interdisciplinary effort. If you are a researcher, an industrial partner, or a designer interested in collaborating on the next generation of additive manufacturing workflows, cybernetic platforms, or design for assembly frameworks, let's connect. You can find my contact information and research details in the description below. Let's collaborate and build the future of decentralized production together. Thank you for watching.